Hey, Justin here from Eagle Business Software. Do another demo video on components and accessories. So we have a lot of customers that try to set up varying price levels or pricing features based on different options that an item might have, things like that, or accessories that can be purchased. So I'll show you a demo of what can be done, what has been done in the past. It's a pretty good option here. So I'm going to open a new sales order. I'm going to pick a customer. Random one's fine. I can pick a serial number. Let's see if this one has any. Doesn't have any so far. We'll just make up a number here. Let's say it's GMC, and I'll just randomly put some numbers in here. This is our serial number details feature, highly configurable to whatever your needs might be. So let's do 2017 GMC. And let's do a 1500 HD. You can put other things in here like engine size and a lot of different things, but we just got some basic stuff in here for now. Let's do color of silver and PO. Let's say it's verbal at this point. And just minimize that for now. Ship date, let's say they want it in 2 days plus 2. Neat little feature here. You can do some other things here with this, such as, let's say it's due by Friday. Type in Friday or an abbreviation of that, Friday, and it'll put in that date. So let's get to this item detail line. I already know the product ID, but we could look for it here. Search for all, or I could use a folder. The find feature down here, Control F, or using the find button is great. Let's say it's Bedliner that I want. Click OK. Brings all my options here. In this case, I want the AmeriGuard spray-on Bedliner. Couple options that pop up here. This is configured to show optional components. There are some that are standard and come in by default, but these are the optional ones. I can choose my UV black bedliner or UV color bedliner. I'm going to go with black. And in this case, I'm going to go over the rail on the bed. And I do want a logo embossed in here, whatever you want to call it. Lights, let's say I do have some lights in the bed of the pickup liner there. Finish. Next option comes up. What kind of logo do I want? I said I wanted one. Now which one do I want? Let's go with a GMC logo. Pretty standard stuff here. And let's say I want it in between the wheel wells. So there's another option that comes up. After it's done through all the options, it'll bring in the accessories now. So yes, I'm going to add a warranty to the bedliner, and maybe it's going to take some extra products, so I'm going to add a shop fee here for some shop supplies. Finish, excuse me. So I've got my components underneath my parent item, the AG bedliner. I've got over the rail option. I got a subcomponent list here. This could go on for almost infinity here, components and subcomponents and sublists under that, but we've just gone 2 levels here. The lines that are not grayed out, those will show on the printed document. It's been set up that way. The accessories here, line 2 and 3, were brought in through the accessories and optional accessories feature here in EBMS. Okay. The other thing that you should note here is we do have inventory being taken out of stock here. So we've got some chemical being used up. It might not be completely 100% accurate, but at least reduces your chemical on hand, or your products on hand that you're actually using here. You could add in a couple other things such as tape or masking tape or any other products that you might use in the course of doing this type of service. There are some optional things you can do here. We have added a labor line. This is a service code and will prompt the user to make a task when this order is saved. I'll just show you here. Go to File and Save, or use the shortcut Control S. Create task pop up. There's checkboxes here you can choose to be created. I have 2 here. One is specifically to the over the rail option that you see here. The other one is the 2 hours for the rest of the bed. So got it split out here. We could change this to a different service code such as labor for over the rail, but in this case they decided not to. I could create these tasks here, but I'm going to close it instead. Next, I'm going to print out a receipt, maybe email it to the customer, to the dealership that this is going to. File, print. I'm going to choose the invoice. This invoice in particular is a little bit customized, but the standard stuff applies here. So we've got all the options that we wanted to show onto the order or the printed document. We show those here. We also have a little bit of a warranty line verbiage here, and also shop fee. Just to note, this shop fee varies based on the total lines above it. So I'll show you that here in a moment. It is a percentage price line code. Close out of this. Let's say I change the price, or even better, maybe if I want to insert a row and add in some more product here, another something manual. Let's see here what we have. Maybe it wants me to do an alignment here just as a fee. So now you'll notice that the pricing actually went up. I'm going to hide some of these price level columns that are not being used at the moment. So list price, regular price can go away. So we've got the actual price. This is list. It's configured for the automotive module, by the way. And so you can see that based on that, my pricing actually went up. So just a little side note there, and we can take this back out. Goes back down to the 3% there. All right, so on the AG Bedliner, let's do a quick lookup. That's a right click and a lookup, or Control F4. We have our optional components, and we have the actual hard-coded, I guess you could say the single components that are actually coming, say the product out of inventory, or if there's a Bedliner pricing line that we have here, just so we get our pricing correct. That's that type of thing that goes on. The pricing is actually from component prices. So based on what those components cost, such as lights, extra lights or without lights, or over the rail versus under the rail, those all affect the pricing at the on the sales order level. So the other thing I did want to show you, the logo. We have logo here as an option in the AG Bedliner. Right click on this one, I can look it up from here. So I can do all this lookup without actually even leaving the invoice. Let's do logo lookup. Double click on this to open it up. I'll stretch it out a bit. So you can see I can list all my optional logos here. These are just line codes. They don't have any extra pricing associated, but you could do extra charges here if you wanted to. So you could say that I'm going to charge, $5 for adding a logo. It's just some extra labor. If you wanted to do that type of thing, then it would increase the overall price of the parent item, the AG Bedliner, by the $5, if that were the case. So it could be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. In this case, it was fairly complex. We could go even higher with a higher level of complexity, but for this, Bedliner is it should do the job. There might be some other options here where you could say, well, is it a short bed or a long bed, or do you just want to leave it as an overall price, and in the end, it kind of averages out based on, there might be a lot more short beds you might not be using as much product versus the long beds. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, contact me.